Hello, and welcome to Living for Games. Fantasy Flight has released their latest hero, and of course, as we all knew, it is Jubilee. So let's dive right in. Orphaned as a teenager, Jubilation Lee survived on her own by taking up residence in her favorite shopping mall. After her mutant power to generate explosive energy manifested, she found a new home with the X-Men. Now, she uses her powers as the colorful hero Jubilee. Fantasy Flight Games is pleased to announce the Jubilee Hero Pack. This bright, energetic hero bursts in battle with this expansion pack, which introduces Jubilee as a new playable hero with a pre-built Justice deck ready to play from the moment you open the box. You'll be able to shine some colorful lights on the villain schemes from the get-go. With her unique emphasis on spending resources of different types, Jubilee is a flashy hero that can brighten up your games. And it also has a bonus modular set, Arcade. I vaguely remember Arcade in the comics, but we'll find out a little bit more about him later. Totally. Even among other heroes in Marvel Champions, Jubilee has a bit of a unique kit. Her playstyle is all about utilizing different resource types in big, bright bursts, and her innate ability helps her get that done. After all, a wild resource can be treated as any type you want. And so she's a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense, hand size 5, hit points 9. Exhaust Jubilee, generate a wild resource. So, utilizing different resource types, not printed resource types. So if you have 3 wilds, you can use it as all 3 resource types. From what I'm understanding right now. I guess we'll find out for sure later on. So let's continue. As for her alter ego side, as someone who used to live in a mall, it makes sense that Jubilation Lee is still a mall rat at heart. With her unique player side scheme shopping spree, she can search her deck and discard pile for handy item cards like her coat and sunglasses. Each of these items adds an extra bit of spice to her thwart and attack events respectively, depending on the number of different resource types she spent for those events. See where this is going? Alright, so Jubilation Lee, 3 recover, 6 hand size, 9 hit points. Action, search your deck for the shopping spree player side scheme and put it into play. So the shopping spree. Threat cannot be removed from this scheme by heroes or allies. Exhaust your identity. Remove 1 threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an item card and puts it in play. And it's 2 threat. So playing solo, you have to exhaust twice. So it takes 2 rounds to do this, to get an item card. But you get to put it into play. So that would be a free item card. Let's see how good these items are. First, we got Jubilee's coat. It's an upgrade of 2 cost. So that would come into play for free. Jubilee gets +1 thwart. After you play a thwart event, exhaust Jubilee's coat. Choose a scheme. Remove 1 threat from that scheme for each different resource type used to pay for that event. I like that. Suddenly for Justice can remove 6 threat. for 2. Or you could remove 4 threat from one scheme and 2 threat from another. I like that. And then we have her glasses. +1 attack. So you have both of these out. She's a 2/2/2. After you play an attack event, exhaust Jubilee's sunglasses and choose an enemy. Deal 1 damage to that enemy for each different resource type used to pay for that event. So again, like Relentless Assault is a 2-cost card for 7 damage with overkill. Or you could do 5 with overkill and 2 to somebody else, 2 to a different enemy. I'm already starting to really like Jubilee. Let's see what else she's got. Outside of her shopping trip, Jubilee's events are where her powers really shine. She can fry an enemy and stun them with Firecracker, remove some threat and confuse an enemy with Flash of Light, or stun and confuse multiple enemies at once with Blinding Flash. Different copies of her signature events have different printed resource icons to help fuel her multiple resource types engine, but you can always power her events with Plasmoid Energy, which itself has 3 different versions. Alright, so Firecracker. 2-cost event. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If you paid this for this card using 2 different resource types, stun that enemy. Or, if you have her sunglasses, you, in addition to stun that enemy, you do 2 additional damage. Flash of Light. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this card using 2 different resource types, confuse an enemy. Again, with the coat, 5 threat removal and a confuse. Very nice. 3-cost Blinding Flash. Choose X enemies, where X is the number of different resource types used to pay for this event. Stun and confuse each chosen enemy. Wow. In Quicksilver, we had the Cyclone, but that was just X for stun. This is stun and confuse for 3. And if you use a different resource type, wow, I like that. That is very, very powerful. Plasmoid Energy is a lightning, or is energy and genius, mental. We have energy and physical, and mental and physical. Alright, and Jubilee's powers are potent, but she will eventually have to flip back to Alter Ego to rest and recover and go on another shopping spree. Thankfully, her pre-built Justice deck comes with plenty of tools for keeping threat in check. Husk can use Jubilee's mixture of resources to power herself up, while Chamber can take advantage of the confusion Jubilee inflicted to attack without consequence. So let's take a look at those two. Husk is a 4-cost Paige Guthrie. I am not familiar with her. 2 thwart, 2 attack, but a star. When Husk uses a basic power, spend up to 3 resources. If you spend at least 1 lightning, Husk gets +1 to that power for this use. Genius. Heal 1 damage from Husk. And physical ready Husk after this use. So 1 of each would be 3 thwart or 3 attack, which is very good. 1 consequential. Heal 1 damage, so you would not heal that consequential because consequential damage happens at the very end. And ready Husk after this use. Okay. And that's when these cards would really come in handy. You just give up 1 extra card to do 2 of these. Wow, that's nice. And Chamber. Stars more. 4 costs, 2 thwart, 2 attack with a star after the attack. Chamber takes -1 consequential damage after he attacks a confused enemy. Okay. So as long as he's attacking confused enemies, he just stays out there. But so obviously that would be circumstantial, but or situational, not circumstantial. Situational, but with Psylocke, that would probably be really good. In a pinch, Jubilee can don a disguise to thwart even while in alter ego form, which also happens to work wonderfully with her shopping spree player side scheme. You can either use shopping spree to find disguise or use disguise to clear the threat off shopping spree. Play under any player's control. Exhaust disguise and your identity, remove 2 threat from a scheme. That's much better. And oh man, that's going to be so helpful in a lot of solo games when you need to go down to heal. Oh, I like that card. Yeah, I like that card. Once you've got a scheme down to low threat, finish it off with Jubilee to waylay the villain's plans. Use Jubilee's spectrum of resources to get the most out of 3 steps ahead and multi-talent it. Then call on Wolverine to help you clear threat from Generation X and hunt for one of her powerful events. She and Logan make a bit of an unlikely duo, but they actually work pretty well together. So Waylay, interesting picture. 3-cost events. Hero responds after your hero thwarts, deal 4 damage to an enemy. 7 damage instead if that thwart removed the last threat from a scheme. Another way for justice to deal damage. I like it. Three steps ahead for each different resource you use to pay for this card. Choose a scheme and remove 2 threat from it. Nice. So you can remove 6 threat total, but 2 from 3 different schemes. Situational, but very nice. Multi-talented, attack and a thwart. If you 3 cost. If you paid for this event using at least 1 physical, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Mental, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Energy, heal 2 damage from your identity. For 3 costs, you could do. I don't see you playing this card for anything less than doing 1 of each. Or paying 1 of each. 2 damage, 2 threat, heal 2 for 3. That would be the only way this card would be worth it, in my opinion. Wolverine, 4 cost, 1 thwart, 3 attack, 2 consequential, and of course his attacks gain piercing, 4 health. After you change to alter ego form, heal 3 damage from Wolverine. Wow. Player side scheme, victory 0. Each X-Men character gets +1 thwart while making a basic thwart against this scheme. And it's a 3 per player. Each player, when defeated, may search their deck and discard pile for an identity-specific event and add it to their hand. Unlikely Duo. It's a Jubilee and Wolverine team-up card. Confuse an enemy. Deal 4 damage to a confused enemy. And now we get into Arcade. A deadly game. As we mentioned earlier, the Jubilee Hero Pack also comes with a brand new modular encounter set. This set features the eccentric assassin Arcade, who is quite fond of putting the heroes into elaborate traps. His encounter set is mostly side schemes. First, he provides a welcome to Murder World. Then he invites the heroes to his funhouse, before finally trapping them within a hall of mirrors. As with all other modular encounter sets, the arcade set can be added to any scenario for some extra challenge. Can you survive his villainous death traps? He's a 2/2/3. Arcade cannot take damage while a trap side scheme is in play. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until the trap side scheme is discarded and reveal it. When revealed, resolve the when defeated ability on each trap side scheme as if you defeated it. If no abilities were resolved this way, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a trap side scheme is discarded and reveal it. Murder World. It's a trap side scheme. Imagine that. Just a 2 with a hinder of 1 per player. When defeated, the player who defeated this side scheme takes 2 damage. Ooh, extra encounter card. Funhouse. Hinder 1. The player who defeated this side scheme is stunned. If they were already stunned, they discard an ally or upgrade they control. Amplifier. Ugh. These are nasty. Hall of Mirrors. The player who defeated this side scheme is confused. If they were already confused, place 2 threat on the main scheme. Crisis icon. So if you have any of these out and you get the elaborate trap, then it just does an automatic 2 damage or stuns you. If all of them are out, each of these traps resolve. Ooh. He could be pretty nasty, but he doesn't sound too bad unless you have 1 or 2 traps out. Then he could get pretty nasty. So there you are. And looks like it Jubilee Hero Pack launches in July. So something more to look forward to. And that does it for our video.